Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I don't even know where to begin. I haven't felt this way about an episode of GH in a hot minute. And I gotta sit there and say that the minute I finished watching it, I just smiled. I was like, I, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin. And hmm, you know what? Let's start with Liz for a minute. So Finn comes over and he's worried about Liz. And earlier he called Chase, and Chase comes by. And Chase is like, listen, I'm going to be staying here for a while to be, just kind of helping out because the cops can't be here 24/7. And Liz is not happy about that. Now, I don't know if you remember my review when I said, hey, Liz, it'd be a really good idea. How about we set some cameras around instead of just hoping that you'll wake up and catch him, and then what? Well, what's your plan once you catch him? So eventually, Liz is like, all right, fine. And Chase, is like, all right, listen, I can't be here. I can't be like everywhere 24/7. So, he's like, I'm going to install some cameras. And at first, Liz is like, I don't know. It seems kind of invasive. And I'm like, Liz, I'm sorry, what was your idea again? You're just going to just wake up, say peekaboo, and just hope that you catch him, and then what? I'm so glad that we actually got to that point where they decided, after weeks of who knows, is in this woman's house with her kids, is like, maybe we should install some cameras. And it's like, in a couple of weeks now, we finally got there. So that's it's just, I don't know what to sit there and say about that. It's been weeks, and that, you know what? I'm just gonna move on. Um, let's talk about Laura and Aiden. I feel like this conversation is somewhat important, and I know it's not a PSA, but I'm just gonna just come out and say it anyway. Um, so Aiden is interested in talking to spirits, ghosts, and he looks online as far as a Ouija board is concerned. Hmm. It's it's just not a good idea. Okay, it is just not a good idea. I know people are like, oh, it's just fun. It's just a fun little game, and this, that, and the third. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you're sitting there pretending that you're talking to someone, I want you to keep one thing in mind. You don't know who or what you're actually talking to. Now, eventually, Lucy comes over, and Laura goes in to go get cookies or milk or something. And, Aiden starts asking because, Lucy, a couple of times during the conversation when she was talking about Martin and everything, she was talking about, the universe and this, that, and the third. And I'm not going to lie, when she talked about like the universe or the spirits or whatever, it reminded me of the good old days of Port Charles. If you ever watched that show, you know what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, this is one of those things where I felt like Lucy was a lot more competent in Port Charles than she was in the show, but that is neither here or there. Anyway, Aiden overhears that and he starts asking questions when he gets Lucy alone, like, as far as like, what do you mean by spirits and things of that nature. Now, she kind of gives this broad definition and she talks about ghosts and things of that nature. And, she talks about it as far as, she used to try to keep, try to talk to the dead. One of the things she said was that She doesn't do it anymore. She leaves it to the trained professionals because she told Aiden, she told Aiden what pretty much what I just said. You don't know exactly who you're talking to. And although there's a lot of good spirits, there's also some not good spirits. Um, Clearly, that warning did not stick because when she left and Laura came back, um, Aiden was like, "Hey, I want to stop off to go and get something, for Kevin, for sweets or whatever, and I need a certain tool or whatever." And so Laura's like, "All right, fine." And I'm just like, you know what? You're a child, so I'm not gonna sit there and hold it against you as far as going in one ear and out the other, as opposed to Sam, which I know she wasn't in this episode, and also I want to sit there and thank everyone for correcting me as far as the text Officer Rory sent to Dante as opposed to the matchmaking service. But it's just one of those things where it's like Sam was like, "No, I'm not going to sit there and do this. I'm not going to ruin my relationship with Dante." And then she does exactly what she said she wouldn't do. So yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about Michael and Willow for a minute. So they give, some, details or whatever as far as what Nina did, um, all of it. As far as, hiding Sonny and the custody case and all that stuff. And after that, Moses like, listen, I got to hear Nina's side. So if there's anything that, you want me to sit there and know before she tells me, you might want to sit there and say it now. They're like, nah, we're good. Everything's out and open. Okay, fine. So Smokes goes to Alexis. Now, Alexis and Smith, they're talking to Nina as far as Harmony. You know, like what kind of business do they have together as far as, Harmony Smith is saying that she owes Nina something. And Nina, for the most part, was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She doesn't owe me anything. Nina was like, well, maybe she did it because, we're kind of in the same boat as far as not really seeing Wiley. So they're talking about that whole thing. And, Alexis is just wanting to know what's going on with Harmony because she's been very dodgy and, sus and everything like that. And, now I'm sitting there thinking about, like, for the most part, your family weren't exactly cool with Harmony, but you wanted to give her a chance. And now you got more questions about her than you did before. You might want to sit there and think about kind of vacating her. Anyway, Smokes comes in and Smokes wants to sit there and get an interview with Nina. But Nina's like, oh, okay, cool. I see exactly what Mike and Willow are doing. She goes downstairs and you know she sits down there and she's like, Michael, I expect you to sit there and play dirty. But you, Willow, on the other hand, I didn't see that coming. Now, I gotta sit there and say, I really like this scene because Willow was not playing any games. Okay, she threw all the dirt in her face, um, saying that they're saying that she tried to compromise and there was no point because you are who you are. Like the way that she came at Nina with that type of energy, I sat there and I was like, Willow, could you have this version of you like every day? Because that would be amazing. Like the way she was just going in on Nina, I was like, I so did not see that coming, and I am so here for it. Could we see more of this version of you? Because this version is pretty cool. Um, and, at this point, Nina's like, okay, cool. So you want to go to war? All right, I got you. Um, and she leaves, and she's like, all right, so we're doing this whole smear campaign. Like, I'm in the media business. It's not like I don't see what you're doing. So, fine. And she leaves, and at this point, it's one of those things where it's like it sucks because they're throwing down the gauntlet pretty much, but they're doing it over a child. You know, This was anything else like a business that, both parties wanted. I'm like, all right, this is what's up. This is gonna be great. But you know, all this bravado and everything like that, this is involving a innocent child. Um, and so when you look at it that way, it's like it sucks. It sucks. It sucks for Wiley because he doesn't deserve any of this. Let's talk about Sonny and Carly. So Sonny's been there talking to one of his goons about the whole incident, and Sonny's like, "Well, since the place is going to be in since the whole place is going to be in Phyllis's name, they won't really sit there and come after her moving forward." I'm like, really, Sonny? You think just because her name is on the deed as opposed to your name's on the deed that's going to change anything? Did you not hear anything what Brando was there saying? Because it kind of registered yesterday, but now it just like, okay. So Carly hears this, and Carly's like, "Are we good? Like, as in, is our family good?" Because Jason's not around, and it kind of smelling blood in the water. So do we need to be concerned? And Sonny is like, "Well, no, because Brick is going to be, handling the stuff that Jason's handled." And I'm like, that that didn't seem like that really stopped those two criminals from walking up in the bar or whatever and demanding money even though they knew who you were. So what exactly is Brick gonna do again? I'm kind of confused. Don't get me wrong, I like every time Brick is there. Stephen A. Smith always brings his A game to the table, but Brick isn't Jason. I mean, to be fair, no one is Jason, but I'm still hoping that Brando kind of steps up as far as, becoming Sonny's right hand man. And I thought about that. I don't know if I said this yesterday. Might have said this, and if I did, I apologize. But I was thinking about this when I was at work. And again, I really do think that, Brando will be a great addition as far as stepping up with, you know, as far as Jason's role with Sonny. There was a time period that I didn't watch the show. And at some point, Sean was, being Sonny's right hand man as far as doing the dirty work and things of that nature. I thought it was interesting, but it was one of those things where it's like you clearly felt like he's not Jason. And this is just kind of odd. And when you really think about this as a whole, Sean started off on the enemy side, during a whole Balkan storyline. Yeah, I go way back. And I don't know if this was an attempt to just give Sean something to do, something interesting. Okay, whatever, fine. He takes the blame and he goes to jail for something that he didn't even really do. And it was one of those things where it's like every time I think about that, I just sit there and think, did you just not know what to do with Sean at that point? So Sean being Sonny's right hand man just doesn't really feel, right. As opposed to Brando, which is his family, which is somebody who had his back before he even knew Sonny. When you really think about it, he stepped in a line of fire to save Carly, and he didn't even know that. I was about to sit there and say, I was like, where the hell am I actually going with this? Um, yeah, I was sitting there talking about Brick. It's like, where the hell was I going with this? So yeah, Brick, Sonny Smith is saying that Brick stepping up is like, that's cool, but that doesn't really like solve your right hand man problem. Anyway, after they talk about that, they talk about Nina as far as Sonny being subpoenaed and not being subpoenaed because Nina said that she would sit there and take care of that. Now, of course, Carly brings up the fact that whose side are you going to be on? And Sonny does sit there and say, "Yo, Nina deserves a place in Wally's life, but if Michael's not cool with that, then I'm going to sit there and back him." Um, course, they get back into the whole Nixon Falls thing and Sonny lying, and at this point, I felt like this breakup was done so sloppy that it's almost kind of annoying to sit there and think about it, or to even sit there and talk about it, because yeah, it just wasn't handled well, and we all know why. We all know why they're changing things up, and well, that person's name starts with an M, and it's not my name. It's not me. Um, because we have the same name. Anyway, at some point they get into Sunny not drinking anymore, and because of the pills and everything like that. And this is one of those things where Carly is like, I've been telling you that for years, and you didn't listen. But let me guess, because Nina said so. Now you're listening. And I stood there and I was like, that's that just hurts. I mean, damn, damn, Sonny. You didn't listen to her for years, but when Nina says it, then it sticks. I mean, damn. Here's the thing. I know some people that don't even like Carly, and you kind of gotta feel bad for her in that position. I don't even know what to say about that. I think that's just. I kind of just summed that up right there. Now, Phyllis comes in, and Phyllis has that guilty look because she knew about a lot of the stuff. Um, when she met Carly and didn't really say anything, and Carly just had that look on her face like, which direction should I go? Should I be mean and angry at her? Should I be silent with her? Which way should I go? Anyway, they talk about Nina. Well, yeah, they talk about Harmony and how she knew Harmony back in the day when they used to sit there and work in the same building. I guess that meant something. I'm not gonna lie, there was so much stuff that was going on that it was just kind of hard to keep track. And which brings me to Harmony. So Harmony gets a text or a call, I can't remember, to meet Brendan. Oh my god, I actually forgot his name. Now she passes by Michael and Harmony. And Harmony wants, Willow wants to sit there and kind of give her a heads up as far as like the media and everything like that, and just bringing up everyone's dirt. And Harmony's dirt is probably going to be brought to light. But you know, Willow's like, listen, you're a changed person. You're different. The stuff that did back then, you did back then, but you made a really good, valiant effort as far as changing your ways. And well, I laughed when she said that, but Willow seems to believe it, and Michael's like, you've been doing a lot better than Nina and everything like that. Now, Harmony gives Willow a hug and says, no matter what, I love you. You're the best thing, yada yada yada. Now, this hug is one of those goodbye hugs, and later on, Willow and Michael sitting there talking about Harmony, like, yo, did that just seem kind of odd? Like, she seemed kind of jittery or whatever. Like, what's going on with her? Um, Now Harmony does wind up meeting Brandon. No, I said that wrong. Let me try that again. Brendan, Jesus Christ. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I think I'm doing relatively okay. So she winds up meeting up with Brendan, and she offers him like $1,000, and she's like, why can we sit there and give you like monthly installments and stuff like that? And Brendan is like, do I look like a Chase Bank to you? Like, what is this gonna do for me? Um, so he's pissed off. Now the whole time when they're about to meet, Harmony has that giant needle, which is why she has such a giant. Anyway, she has a needle. She puts it in her purse. After she hands the money, Brendan is like, this isn't enough. You know what? Maybe it'd be a better idea if I just hit up Michael. Because I'm pretty sure Michael will want to sit there and keep me quiet. And I mean, dude is loaded. So I'm pretty sure I'll probably get a lot more. Wait, why am I actually messing with you again? One thing leads to another, and Harmony gets pushed on the ground. The needle drops out of her bag. Now at this point, eventually Brendan puts two and two together, and he realizes that Neil, Neil was never like really into drugs or whatever. Like, yeah, he experimented. I love that word, experimented. He experimented in high school or whatever, but like, he never actually was in that type. He wasn't into that, and he realized that Harmony had something to do with it as far as like killing him or whatever. So at some point they start arguing and they're like grabbing each other and they're shoving each other. One thing leads to the next. Were they about to clip the whole entire time? I mean, anyway, Harmony pushes him off a cliff. And I'm not gonna lie, when that happened, I laughed so I laughed so hard because I was just like, the camera pointed to their feet, to their shoes or whatever, and it was just like, wait, we're at a mountain or something? Like, anyway, Brendan Brendan falls off the cliff, and Harmony just looks in shock or whatever, like, oh, I didn't mean that to happen. I was like, well, you was gonna sit there and shoot him up with God knows what in that syringe, so what's the difference? Like, what's the difference? It got done out of the way. I mean, you were plotting to kill this dude for a hot minute. So why are you so shocked and surprised? Like, I didn't mean that to happen. As opposed to you sticking him with that giant ass needle. Okay, all right. That's now the last scene. I think this is the last scene. The last scene is with Smoltz and Alexis. So after Nina leaves, Smoltz, pitches the idea to Alexis. And at first, she's like, I'm not really too sure about running it. But here's the thing. I gotta give, I'm saying this. I gotta give Smoltz credit because Smoltz looked at the situation. He looked at the story and was like, he looked at what Nina did and what Nina is getting away with, and how the victim in this whole thing is Wiley being denied from Sonny for months, and all the stuff that Nina did, and the fact that she got away with it. She literally got away with it. So, with that being said, after hearing him, I was like, you know, I've been calling this guy beta for a hot minute, and it makes sense. He also said that, if Alexis, one second. He also said that if Alexis didn't know these people, she would jump on that story a lot faster. And Alexis was like, you're right. I'm not gonna lie, I did laugh when Smosa was like, I'm sorry, what? What did you say? And so Alexis was like, all right, we'll do the story, we'll do it your way. But the minute that you start deviating left or right, or just start turning this into some sort of, I don't know, whatever, trash piece or whatever, I'm shutting it down. And Smaltz agreed. And so, yeah, I didn't see that coming. That's actually about it. I gotta sit there and say, to a large extent, I gotta agree with DC Sanctuary as far as like they've been bringing it for the most part. Like he's a lot more generous than I am. But today's episode, they were on point with a lot, a lot. They were on point with a lot. So I gotta sit there and say this. This was definitely a really good episode. And I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow's episode. Like usually, I'm looking forward to next episodes, but like now, it's just a different vibe. It's hard to explain, but it's just a different vibe. Um, well, not tomorrow's episode because tomorrow is Saturday. Jesus. Monday's episode. I'm looking forward to Monday's episode. Um, yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Have a great, safe weekend, and I will see you in the next episode.